What is up, guys? It's me, Jude, back with another interview for Jude Interviews. I don't think I've ever said that before, but yes, this is Jude Interviews. And this time, I don't have just one person, but I actually have two people. So the first person I have, he's from the wonderful band Shed Seven. It's man like Rick. And as well, I also have the wonderful, the amazing Rowetta. So Rick, Rowetta, how are you?
Thank you.
Hi Jude, you okay?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Yes, very good, thank you very much. Just learning about where you are. Are we allowed to say where you are on your interview?
I mean, you can if you want, yeah.
Yeah, so big up to Jude's grandma.
But yeah, she's very happy with me doing this. But I have a few questions to ask you guys. So I want to know, the first question I have for you guys is, how did you two actually meet? Because I know you're from two different bands, aren't you?
Yeah, so me and Rowetta have known each other for quite a long time. Rowetta's in the Happy Mondays, obviously, and I'm in Shed 7, obviously. So way back in about 1999, we supported the Mondays on a big arena tour. So that was kind of like, I mean, I've always been a really big fan of the Happy Mondays anyway, so that was an honour to be able to go and support them. And then we've kind of just bumped into each other loads over the years, haven't we, Rowetta, doing different things?
Different gigs and stuff, but we actually got to hang out together during that arena tour, so I did get to know him, knew that I liked Shed 7. I did speak to Rick, and I think it was before he married his wife, probably. Was it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's 24 years ago, but they've always been a brilliant band, and they've got better and better and better. But just always really great to get on with as well, and never changed, which means a lot to me, because I've seen some people, some bands, they come and go and they do change. You know, not a lot of them, they're not still around because they've changed, you know, or because, you know, they've not been able to handle it. But I've loved the fact that Shed 7, if anything, they're just really more grounded than ever, just really good people, and that means everything.
Oh, that is wonderful. And I like how you mentioned that you guys knew each other in the 90s, and I'm guessing the early noughties as well, right around about that time.
Yeah, pretty much a constant since like the mid to late 90s, really. I mean, obviously we're from the indie scene, so to speak, if you could call it that. So yeah, always bumping into each other. But the thing is, this is the first time we've ever asked a guest to appear on one of our records. And all of this came about last year when we were writing our new album. And one of the songs, Paul Banks, the guitarist for Shed 7, he usually sends me a set of guitar chords or a riff, and then I'll put a melody over the top of that. And this particular song, In Ecstasy, that Rowetta's on, you know, when I was in the process of thinking of a melody for it, the first thing that came into my head, I immediately thought of Rowetta. I just thought that sounds so like what Rowetta would do. So, you know, I left it a little while, tried to write some words to it, made sure that it was in keeping with what Rowetta might want to do. And it got to a point where I thought, well, this, you know, I can't stop listening to this in my head without thinking of Rowetta's voice on it. So eventually reached out, and thankfully she said, yes, I'd love to, I'm interested enough to hear the song. And then even more thankful that she decided that she'd like to be on it. So it's the first proper guest we've ever had on a Shed 7 record.
The perfect song. The minute I heard it, instantly, I could see why he thought of me singing it, because a lot of people, they think I could sing on the records and maybe turn it into a step on or something like that. But I don't really want to do that. That was a cover anyway, and that was 30 odd years ago. Yes, I can add to people's songs, but it does nothing for me. So I wouldn't just sing on something because a band wanted me to. The fact that I knew the lads and that I knew it'd be good, but it might not be for me until you hear it. But the minute I put it on, it's an instant tune. Everybody that's listening to it now, they're all saying the same thing, though. It's not a grower. It's a great tune. The lyrics are great. The melody's great. It's not too poppy or soft for me, because I like something a bit raunchy, a bit hard, a bit edgy.
Quite grungy.
And a bit punk. And it's just, you can have a passionate song, but I really like something that you can feel. And this tune I really felt immediately. And the minute I started singing along, I was like, wow. I just knew, even in my bedroom, I was giving myself goosebumps from the music and myself singing along. It was, you just knew something special was there. And that's, it's a non-brainer, it's a no-brainer, whatever you call it. I want to be in it. I'm so happy that
that's amazing.
Brilliant.
That's really amazing. And I listened to the song earlier and I love it. So I'm a big fan of Sam Fender, and this has such a Sam Fender feel to it, and it's just so amazing. I like how you bring him back in this style of music. And alongside this as well, I'm guessing because you've made music in the 90s and making it in the like mid-20s, is it different making music to how you would have back in the 90s when you were kind of newer, or is it kind of the same, or is it a different process? How is it to make music in a completely different era to a whole different bunch of people?
Well, I think with us, we've always really had a strong fan base, and they've kind of stuck with us over the years. So regarding the writing and the recording side of things, not a lot has changed really. We still do it. We do it old school, you know. We'll go to, I mean, we recorded this album in Spain. We went to Spain for 3 weeks, and we were kind of trapped halfway up the mountain with nowhere to go, which was probably a good thing in the end because there was no distractions, you know. If we'd have recorded the whole thing in London, we might have thought, right, well, let's go to the pub or let's go clubbing, even though we're 50, so you shouldn't really go clubbing when you're 50, surely, should you? Well, I'm saying that, Rowetta, you do that, but you're actually performing in these clubs, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah. It's a little bit late, you know, as well. No, I perform at house music, but I'm half the time in Ibiza. I'm going on at 3, and really, I want to go to bed, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's yeah. But the thing I loved as well, because it is recorded the old-fashioned way, really, the way I like to record with a band. All for the last few years, I've been really recording at home, doing most vocals at home, even any vocals, just sending them to producers. So it's just a job for me to do it the proper way. And you get a great result when you do it the real way. Because it's all right, me just doing a vocal at home, but you're not doing it as a band then when you connect. And I think that's why it did feel so special, where you get an instant reaction from Rick, who's written this in his head. If I send him my voice, it wouldn't be the same as seeing his reaction saying that's exactly what I was thinking of, and I was just buzzing. And then it gives me the confidence then to do some great ad libs that go, because he's buzzing off that I've sung his ideas the way it was just magical, honestly, this session. And and then there is all the time, every time you heard a little bit more or a guitar was added, anything, I was getting another buzz. It's just, and it's ended up being a perfect song. I've not been buzzing about a tune like this for a long, long time. Hearing it on the radio is incredible. And the feedback from people now, I mean, every day people are just saying the most amazing things, which is beautiful.
I mean, talking about how different the process is, as I've said, the actual writing and recording side of it's pretty much how it always has been for us, but obviously the music industry has changed massively and technology's changed massively over the years. So we're still kind of finding our feet in that respect and learning. You know, we had an album out 6 years ago, and even in the last 6 years things have changed so much. So you know, the positives of things nowadays, like what Rowetta just touched upon, is you can release something online now and get an instant reaction. You don't have to wait till the next. Very true. Yeah, and you know, you can connect to your fan base quicker, all set in seconds. You know, and the love that this particular song is getting online over the last few days since it's been released, we're seeing in real time just how much people are loving it. There's hardly any negative comments. Everyone, you know, when we announced that we were going to write a song with Rowetta, people were excited enough, so that made us excited. And then when we knew what we'd done before people had heard it, we were even more excited for them to hear it. We're seeing in real time how people are reacting to it. You know,
I was in Ibiza last week, and there's a great DJ called Scott Gray from Melon Bomb, and he was going, that Shed 7 tune. Like, normally with me, people who do house music are talking about house tunes. Oh, I like that Todd Terry tune. He went, that Shed 7 tune, though, well, it's different class. And then people were coming up to me, you don't even know that they'd listened to, you know, the Mondays or Shed 7. I thought they were just into, but good music is good music. And these producers, they know what a good tune is. And it's just people I really respect within different fields. They're all saying that this tune is something else, you know, and the fans, I just can't wait to perform it on stage, because it's going to be another level again for myself personally anyway, because that is it for me. When you perform it on stage, it's going to be incredible.
That's an amazing way of putting it. And I love the passion that you had behind this song, because the whole writing process must be amazing. And then having you guys sit in and just seeing it all come together must be so fantastic. And on top of that, I can see it's giving you guys such a buzz to be like, let's just go, let's do it, come on. I really love that. And alongside your tours, I know that you're touring at the moment and you're coming to my city, Wolverhampton. Woo! And what's it like having the OG 90s fans to having the new 2020s fans all together under one roof singing your songs? I bet that must feel so crazy, just to have literally 30 years of different fans. It must be crazy.
Well, it is amazing, to be honest, and I've noticed it over the past few years. You know, the older we get and the longer our career goes on, the more we're seeing a total flip. So obviously people of our generation are coming because they were there originally and they want to come out and have a good night out. But they're equally, we're seeing a lot of 20-somethings coming down who've discovered guitar music or the indie scene, whatever, and have perhaps discovered us along the way. But then we're also seeing 6, 7, 8-year-old kids there at the front, you know.
Really?
And they're all singing along with it all. They're singing every word,
wow.
Which is incredible, really. And that for me makes me feel like the more that happens, we're kind of singing to the next generations of kids. You know, they'll grow up and they'll still want to come back to see us, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, you know, we are the new Rolling Stones, Jude.
Yeah.
I really like the way you've put that. And I'm guessing when you go out on stage to see all those different, that's literally like 3 to 4 different generations. I bet that must feel emotional, just to be like, wow, this music's still affecting people now.
Yeah, incredible, really. I mean, we get people coming along and looking like they're having the best time of the night of their lives, and they're singing 90s songs that we wrote way back in the 90s, you know, but then they're equally loving what we're doing right now. So, yeah, as I say, to look out onto a crowd of people of all different ages, just all looking like they're having a big party is just the best. It makes it the best job in the world, to be honest with you. And long may that continue.
Some bands from that era, they didn't last very long. And a lot of bands now are not going to last 30 years. And so I just think it's just such a beautiful gift. And we're so lucky that we get to experience this, that people still enjoy the music, that we can still perform. But when I saw Shed 7 a few years ago, I think it was 2018, they were the best I'd ever seen them. And I loved, Rolling Stones were great when I saw them. When you're doing it and you get better and better, I think it's just, you're not going to let the fans down. You're going to get new fans, because mums and dads, older brothers and sisters, they're going to play your music. The radio's going to play your music. And then when you go and see them perform, if you do a good gig and you're still doing it, people want to see you again and again and again. And I think we're blessed that we can still do it. We know you're not going to come to a gig and be disappointed. You're not going to Shed 7 record and be disappointed. I can't wait for everyone to hear this album. So yeah, it's a very, very exciting time, and the fact that young ones and old ones are enjoying it, that's how it, you know, you're very lucky. There's only not many people can say this from our era. There's only a few that are still going. And Shed 7 sell out a lot of gigs. You know, they're in demand. And
I've seen.
Thank you for asking me to perform on this.
I can tell you're so busy behind this, but you two probably have thought this, but when you have the 6-year-olds, like 4-year-olds at the concerts, you're giving them a core memory. Like, they'll think about that when they're 30. They'll be like, oh, do you remember that Shed 7 concert I went to when I was like 4? Because once again, music is such a powerful tool, and for you guys to be the ground to it, the layers to it, I have so much crazy amount of respect for that, because you're setting that stone for younger musicians and for older musicians, which brings me on to my next question, which is, as you've been in the industry for such a long time, you must have so much knowledge behind the whole industry. So what advice would you give to people who want to start at music, whether they're old, young, whatever age?
Well, as I've already touched upon, the music industry has changed quite a lot since we first came onto the scene. But I think at the end of the day, the advice I would give is just keep playing. Just keep playing gigs. Get out there. Get yourself known. Get your name out there. But don't give up. If things aren't quite going how you want them to go and you're not getting as much interest as you'd like, there's always tomorrow. Just keep playing. Any band worth their salt, any artist worth their salt, will put the groundwork in, and they'll go up and down the M1 and they'll play in venues in front of 20 people on a Tuesday night when it's taking it down outside. And that's when you know you're onto something. If you can still get up the next day and go, right, okay, we did that, let's try again. So just persist and keep trying. If you in your heart, if you know what you're doing is genuine and good, then if you're fortunate enough, people will latch onto it. And there's so many artists out there who never got anywhere, who are probably the best artists in the world, but without persevering and trying, that's the advice I would give.
Mine's the same, man. I practice every day. I do sing every morning. I love it. At the end of the day, I can't live without singing. I love performing, so I will perform on most stages, all different kinds of stages. Yes, Glastonbury, but I will do little small charity events. I just sing for people with learning disabilities. I love performing. I love getting up on a stage, and I love practicing, making myself better, practicing writing, practicing everything to do with music. But also, my advice is don't pay people to teach you to sing if you haven't got the talent. And if you don't have this love for it and you're doing it for the wrong reason, give up. If you're doing it to be famous or you're doing it for the money, it's maybe not for you, because I'm sick of people trying to do that. Everybody wants to make money through being a pop star or be on the TV. That's the wrong. Stop wasting your time. I've done every kind of gig and I know Rick has, where there's hardly anybody there, people talking, people walking out, bingo tickets are on sale in the foyer, and everybody walks out. That's made me a better performer, and that's given me the confidence to sing in front of anybody, because I know if you can win people over because you love what you do and you've got that gift, then it's incredible. But if you're not talented and your mum's just told you're a good singer or you're good at guitar or you're going to take it with a trumpet, give it up.
To be fair, people like that eventually get found out, don't they, at the end of the day anyway? You can tell if somebody's passionate and putting commitment into things,
Absolutely. But there's people who say to me, how much do you charge to teach people to sing? Can you teach my Arthur to sing? No, I can't. There's no amount of money to make me pretend I can teach your Arthur to sing. And I can't stand bad voices, so I'm not going to sit in a room with him and pretend. Even during lockdown, when I could have really ripped everybody off and gone, right, go on then, like a lot of people were doing, £20 an hour. It's absolutely shocking, because of this love for people want to be famous. You've got to have it in your heart. Anybody who's got, there's a lot of little black girls in Manchester that haven't made it. There's only a couple, me and Denise Johnson and a couple of others that people will have heard of, but they've got the talent, but they've not you've got to have the break. But I've lived with no money and nothing, because I love it. I won't do anything else. I can't do anything else. Singing is my everything. Writing, music, working with musicians, I love everything about it, but I'm not doing it for the money or the fame. I'm doing it because I love it. And then you get opportunities like I get now to sing with Shed Seven and release music. That's, a bonus of it all. But even if I wasn't having releases, I'd still be doing this, because that's what I love.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I love the advice you've given, because I know that's going to impact people in such a positive way. And on to the next 30 years.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, guys, have a wonderful day. And when you come to Wolverhampton, have a wonderful time there. Do you have any social medias that you want to shout out?
Well, everything's at Rowetta for me, and Shed 7.
Yeah, shed7.com for all your Shed 7
Although
needs.
I do love Rick Twitter on Twitter.
Yeah, Rick Twitter on Twitter personally, yes.
Very cool.
So we'll see you in Wolverhampton then, Jude. Look forward to it.
Fingers crossed, yeah.